I'm taking Crawford. He'll handle it all. That's it. I am. I'm not in any way trying to shortcome the tremendous fighter named Canelo. I like Canelo a lot, but I like Crawford more. I like Crawford, and I liked him before Canelo didn't look great in his last fight against Skull. I liked him when the fight was first made 2 years ago, or talked about 2 years ago, or close to 2 years.
Teddy Atlas fires off a bold statement. He's riding with Crawford all the way, no hesitation, no filter. He's not dismissing Canelo's legacy, but make no mistake, he's calling for Crawford to dominate and knock the king off his throne. Crawford isn't backing down either. He knows exactly what he's up against, and he's still all in. He said, "Yeah, he's definitely bigger than me in weight, but you know I have my tools that are better than him as well, so it's going to make for a great fight." Sure, Canelo has the size, but Crawford isn't fazed. He's got the skills, the speed, and the mindset to match. He's not entering this fight just to survive, he's coming to win. This isn't bravado, it's belief backed by ability. Crawford respects what Canelo brings, but he's betting what he brings is better. And if he's right, we could be witnessing the start of a new era. And it's not just Teddy or Crawford saying it, voices around the boxing world are echoing the same energy. Anthony Ant Brenna from the Porterway podcast couldn't hide his admiration for what Crawford brings to the table.
It's going to be a great fight. And two of the best are fighting the best. I mean, my opinion, I think you can put Crawford in any position. And, man, for some way, he knows how to figure it out to get out of that position. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a man. And he got that dog.
Andy doesn't just see Crawford as talented. He sees him as special, a fighter who adapts, who thinks on the fly, and who never panics under pressure, the kind of guy who no matter where you put him figures it out. There's something raw and real in his words. You can feel the respect, but also the anticipation. It's that kind of buzz that makes you wonder, are we about to witness a generational shift? Because if Crawford really does what they say he can, the boxing world won't be the same. But Ante didn't stop there. He doubled down with a warning that adds a whole new layer of danger to this matchup. In his own words, Crawford's edge isn't just skill, it's something much deeper, much more dangerous.
See, that's the scariest thing for me, because he got so much dog in him. I would hate to get out of pocket and get caught slipping. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
You mean him being against Canelo?
Yeah, being stubborn and
trying to make a point.
Because he's that type of dude. He'll.
This is where things get real, and he isn't just hyping Crawford, he's pointing out the one thing that could break Canelo. That dog in Crawford is not just about grit, it's about instinct. If Canelo tries to prove a point, tries to trade fire just to stand his ground, it could cost him everything. Crawford lives for those moments when the fight turns wild, emotional, and raw. That's when he's most alive, and that's exactly when he becomes most lethal. Then Sean Porter, who's been in the ring with Crawford himself, added a powerful dose of reality. In the Porterway podcast, he laid out exactly what's at stake for Bud in this moment.
Dog is gonna be there, and he understands that he has to be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before, because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's Crawford. You know, so I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. The dog is, you know, he gotta work his way up.
This isn't just another big fight for Crawford, it's the fight. According to Porter, Crawford knows he can't just win, he has to shine like never before. A typical Crawford performance won't be enough this time because fans expect him to be great always. That means he has to go beyond greatness and deliver something unforgettable. Porter makes it clear Crawford has to be smart, sharp, and explosive, but also hold back that dog until the moment is perfect, because this is more than a victory when it's a legacy-defining performance. And if that wasn't enough to raise the stakes, British boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies weighed in with a stark reminder of what Crawford is walking into. In a raw and honest take, he didn't sugarcoat what this fight could turn into.
Camp, it's going to be a testing fight for both men. Canelo always looks for the knockout, as he says. He will be planting his feet And as I said to Terence, are you prepared to be hit harder than you've ever been hit before? Obviously he doesn't want to be hit, but Canelo will hit him harder than anyone he's probably been in against.
Davies puts it plain: Canelo isn't coming to box cute, he's coming to hurt. He fights flat-footed, plants himself, and looks for the knockout like a man on a mission. And Crawford, he's never taken shots like the ones Canelo's about to throw. That's the test not just of skill but of durability, heart, and pure will. This fight isn't just tactical chess, it's going to be a war where every clean punch could change everything. And the question Davies throws in the air is chilling: is Crawford truly ready for that level of fire? Gareth A. Davies didn't stop there, he continued with a sharp comparison that cuts right to the core of Crawford's legacy. In the same segment, he made it clear what's really on the line when Bud steps into that ring.
Errol Spence hits hard, but it wasn't the same Errol Spence that he's fought. And he's up against one of the all-time greats of Mexican boxing on September the 13th at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's a really big fight for him. It's a legacy fight because his resume isn't anything like Saul Canelo Alvarez's.
Yes, Crawford dominated Errol Spence, but as Davies points out, that wasn't the best version of Spence. This time he's facing a living legend in Canelo, a man who's carved his name deep into the history of Mexican boxing. And Crawford, as great as he is, his resume still doesn't match Canelo's iconic status. That's why this fight is more than belts or bragging rights, it's Crawford's shot to rewrite the story. A win here doesn't just make him undisputed in the ring, it cements him as one of the greats in the sport. Gareth A. Davies further shared his thoughts by shedding light on Canelo's legacy and the controversy that still follows him. In a balanced but brutally honest take, he addressed both the praise and the questions surrounding Canelo's career. Canelo has faced legends, no doubt, but many of them came near the end of their careers. Still, he's taken on almost everyone and stayed at the top for years. The one name missing: David Benavidez. It's the fight fans have begged for, and Canelo never gave it to them. But as Davies explains, that doesn't erase his greatness, it just leaves a what-if hanging over his legacy. Now with Crawford stepping up, it feels like the fight that could finally silence those doubts. Two icons, two different paths, but one night to prove who really stands above the rest. Gareth A. Davies continued by zeroing in on one of Crawford's most underrated weapons, his vicious instinct when the moment is right. In this sharp observation, he laid out exactly why Crawford is more than just a technical fighter.
When he's got someone hurt, he's very spiteful. We forget those qualities in Crawford. Well, we shouldn't forget those qualities in Crawford. Canelo, we know, feet have slowed over the years, and he likes to sit and plant. Crawford's very adept, both on the inside and the outside.
Crawford doesn't just outbox you, he finishes you. When he sees an opponent hurt, he becomes cold, calculated, and ruthless. Davies warns not to overlook that part of him, the spiteful side that flips a close fight into a sudden stoppage. And with Canelo now more flat-foot and planted than ever, that could be a major opening. Crawford's ability to dominate both up close and from range means he can switch gears instantly, and that's where the real danger lies. Gareth A. Davies then gave his personal prediction, and it's one that adds even more weight to the growing belief in Crawford. He laid it all out with insight, experience, and a touch of caution.
Listen, at this point, I've tipped Crawford to win narrowly on points, because I think if he produces one of the great performances of his career, and he's 38, peculiarly, even though, you know, maybe in miles on the clock, he's not the older man, because obviously Canelo's been a pro since he was 15. But it's a fascinating duel. I think it will do really big numbers. I don't think it's the fight of this century. It's one of the fights of this century. It's a brilliant matchup. Number 3 pound for pound in Crawford on the Ring Magazine rankings. Number 8 pound for pound Canelo. It's a great prospect. It's a must-watch for boxing.
Davies is tipping Crawford to edge it not by knockout, but narrowly on points. He believes if Crawford brings the performance of his life, he can pull it off even at 38. What's interesting is that despite the age gap on paper, Canelo may actually carry more wear from years of fighting at the top since his teenage years. This isn't just a battle of skills, it's a test of timing, experience, and who still has that fire. Crawford versus Canelo isn't just a fight, it's a high-stakes chess match with everything on the line. For real boxing fans, it's not just a must-watch, it's a moment. Gareth A. Davies followed up with a powerful perspective on what this fight truly means for both men. In just a few words, he flipped the pressure narrative on its head.
It's a really big fight. It's a legacy fight. More so for Crawford, because there's more pressure on Canelo to win this than there is on Crawford, I think.
It may be a legacy-defining moment for Crawford, but Davies argues the real pressure sits heavier on Canelo. Why? Because he's the bigger man, the established icon, and the one expected to win. If Crawford loses, he has moved up in weight and dared to be great. But if Canelo loses, it shakes everything: his status, his dominance, his claim to greatness. That's why the stakes aren't just about belts or pride anymore. Legendary trainer Ronnie Shields also weighed in, and he didn't hold back when it came to picking sides. With decades of experience in his corner, Shields explained exactly why he's backing Crawford.
I think it's going to be a great fight, number one. I think both guys are going to be in great shape, like always. And look, you know, I'm favoring Crawford because I just think Crawford is an awkward fighter, and I think he's going to get Canelo problem just because he's switching both ways. And he's going to be running all around the ring like school there. You know, Crawford is a great counterpuncher also. Crawford is everything a fighter needs to be. And I think he's going to show Canelo different things that he hasn't.
Shields sees Crawford as a nightmare matchup for Canelo. It's not just about speed or power, it's about how unpredictable Crawford is in the ring. He can switch stances, counter from anywhere, and control the pace without running. Shields makes it clear Crawford brings a level of skill and trickiness that could seriously frustrate Canelo. He's not going to fight scared, and he's not going to fight predictable. According to Shields, Crawford is the full package, and he believes Canelo is about to face something he's never seen before. Ronnie Shields didn't just give his pick, he laid out a clear, simple key to victory for Crawford. In just a few words, he revealed what could be the blueprint to break Canelo down. He stated, "Use your reach and touch his body." Shields knows Canelo is strong up top, but slowing him down starts at the core. Touching the body, especially early, takes the legs out, drains the power, and opens everything up. With Crawford's reach and timing, it's a smart and surgical strategy. It's not about swinging wild, it's about breaking Canelo piece by piece. As the pros believe Crawford can beat Canelo, Crawford sees it the same way. And to those who keep pointing to the size difference as a deal breaker, he's not having it. In a recent interview with Carl Froch, he addressed it head-on with calm, unshaken confidence.
I don't think it's a massive factor.
No.
You know, not at all. I just feel like I'm stronger than people expect me to be.
Crawford doesn't view the weight gap as a major factor, and definitely not a disadvantage. He's heard all the talk, but he knows what he brings to the ring. Strength isn't just about mass, it's about leverage, precision, and control. He believes he's stronger than people give him credit for, and that belief isn't based on hype, it's built on experience. Crawford isn't just prepared to fight bigger, he's prepared to dominate no matter the weight. Crawford didn't stop at brushing off the size talk, he reminded everyone that moving up in weight is nothing new for him. In fact, it's been part of his journey from the very beginning.
Been doing that my whole career. So that's nothing new.
Size is no issue, and that's because you're the slight underdog.
Yeah.
With the bookies, he's the favourite. Does that concern? Are you bothered? You're undefeated.
It don't bother me. It motivates me.
Just motivates you.
Yeah, it's motivating.
This isn't Crawford stepping into unknown territory. It's just the next chapter in a career built on rising through divisions and proving people wrong. He's been climbing weight classes his entire life, and each time the story's the same, he adapts, he dominates. Being the underdog doesn't shake him, it fuels him. He's undefeated for a reason, and every time the odds are stacked, he sharpens his focus even more. Crawford isn't chasing greatness, he's built for it. And if there was any doubt left about Crawford's mindset heading into the fight, he erased it with one simple, powerful statement. His confidence is sharp, and his message couldn't be clearer. He stated, I feel great, you know, I'm ready to shock the world." Crawford feels ready not just physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This isn't just another fight for him, it's a moment he's been waiting for. He knows the world sees Canelo as the favorite, the bigger name, the bigger threat, but Crawford sees something else, an opportunity to shock everyone watching. He's calm, collected, and laser-focused, and when a fighter at the top of his game says he's ready to shock the world, you better believe something special is coming. Even with all the confidence, Crawford keeps it real, giving full credit to Canelo's skill and legacy. But make no mistake, admiration doesn't mean hesitation. He said it clearly and without flinching.
No, I rate him all around. You know, I always said Canelo was a great fighter. You know, he's a great counter puncher. He got great balance. He's a great all-around fighter. You know, I'm a fan. You know, so I definitely rate him high on a pound for pound list. But come fight night,
Crawford respects Canelo. He rates him highly, sees him as a complete fighter, and even calls himself a fan. That's the kind of honesty you don't always hear, but it makes what follows even more powerful, because right after giving Canelo his flowers, Crawford makes it known he's still coming to beat him. There's no trash talk, no ego, just belief in his own ability. And that kind of confidence built on both respect and readiness is what makes this showdown so dangerous. One legend is walking in, but only one is walking out on top. As the hype builds, sports broadcaster Ade Oladipo brought in a dose of reality, one that shifts the tone from legacy to finality. He raised a possibility that could change the entire meaning of this fight.
13th might be Terence Crawford's last fight. Yeah, that could be true. Crawford's 38. Crawford fights once a year. And maybe he'll make enough money in this fight where he thinks, fuck it, right? Unless there's a rematch if he wins. Because if he wins and there's no rematch clause, who's he going to fight?
Oladipo suggests this might be at Crawford's final walk to the ring. At 38, with a fight schedule that's slowed to once a year, the end could be near. If Crawford wins and there's no rematch clause, who's left for him to fight that truly matters? The money, the moment, the history, it could all align on one night, one performance, one last statement. And if that's the case, then September 13th isn't just a fight, it's a potential farewell, a chance for Crawford to go out on top with the crown in one hand and his legacy sealed in the other. Oladipo also touched on something beyond the punches, the dynamic between the two fighters outside the ring. What started as mutual respect might be shifting into something more dramatic.
I think, I did say that there is no antagonist in this. It's two guys that respect each other. I might be wrong, because Canelo seems to have been taking on that role as the antagonist. He doesn't mind it, playing the role as the villain, whereas Crawford almost seems to be playing the role as the humble boxer. That's what it comes across to from my standpoint. I could be wrong.
At first it seemed like this fight had no villain, just two greats ready to battle. But now Oladipo sees a subtle change. Canelo appears to be leaning into the role of the antagonist, unbothered by being seen as the one to beat or even the bad guy. Meanwhile, Crawford remains grounded, focused, and humble, the quiet storm. It's a classic setup, pride versus poise, fire versus ice. And that shift in energy could play a huge role in how this fight unfolds, because when roles are clear, emotions get sharper and the stakes feel even higher. Adedola Adipo took a step back and shared a shift in perspective, one that captures just how unpredictable this matchup truly is.
I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be good. All of a sudden, I've had a change of mind and a change of heart. Like, I was leaning Crawford. I was very much, I think Crawford is going to do this because it's Crawford. He's unbeaten, right? He doesn't know how to lose. And even when he's struggling in fights, he just finds a way.
Oladipo admits he was leaning heavily toward Crawford, and for good reason. The man is undefeated, battle-tested, and built for pressure. Even when he struggles in fights, he finds a way. That's what makes him special. But now, with the fight getting closer, even he's starting to second-guess. That's the kind of matchup this is. No sure bets, no easy picks. It's the kind of fight that keeps fans up at night, switching sides, breaking down tape, and waiting for that first bell to finally bring answers. With legends, analysts, trainers, and Crawford himself all weighing in, one thing is clear. This isn't just a fight, it's a moment in boxing history that could redefine legacies. Whether it's Crawford's chance to shock the world one final time or Canelo's mission to remind everyone why he's the face of modern boxing, September 13th is shaping up to be nothing short of epic. All signs point to a chess match with heavy consequences. Canelo has the power, pedigree, and pressure. Crawford has the IQ, instinct, and something to prove. If Crawford delivers the performance of his life, we might witness a historic passing of the torch. But if Canelo imposes his will early, we could see Crawford struggle in unfamiliar territory. It's razor thin, and that's what makes it so exciting. So what do you think? Will Crawford's movement and timing be enough to neutralize Canelo's power? Can Canelo deal with a switch-hitting, counter-punching technician for 12 full rounds? Is this really Crawford's final chapter, and if so, will it end in glory, or will Canelo rise once again, silencing all doubt? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Who are you picking and why? Don't forget to subscribe.